Hey everybody, and welcome to the D&D podcast. Today, I'll be talking about the Ranger. Now, the Ranger has a bit of a bad stereotype around it, like that's the worst class and it feels like a hybrid of a couple others. I often tend to agree with these stereotypes, though it can be used very well if used correctly. Now, the Ranger. You start off with a favored enemy, and you have also a favored, what do you call it, like a type of land. Like you're best in jungles, best in the wild lands, in the desert, in the tundra. Each ranger is best to its own area, and also best against a certain type of foe. Now, I will be honest, I have never personally played as a ranger, though I have played with rangers before. Now, they do get a couple of pretty cool things, like they can cast spells, like the paladin, only up to level 5. They get extra attack, like a couple other classes do. And besides that, there isn't, I wouldn't even call that unique to them, because they get fighting styles, because just like the fighter, I'm just realizing this as I'm recording that it kind of really is a combination of several different classes. I mean, favored enemy and high in plain sight, that is fairly unique to them. But at the end of the day, there's only very specific circumstances that you would need these kinds of abilities. But if you are in that type of circumstance, you can be pretty helpful. And if you play, I believe that if you build any character correctly, or any character the way you envision it, the way you think it would be best, that it has potential to be a truly good character. And I do believe that that extends to the Ranger class. However, it may be trickier with this class because, well, let's be honest, it's not exactly the best thing that there is here. It does have some perks, but overall, I can't think of a truly good reason to choose it unless you know what type of enemies you'll be going up against, unless you know what type of area you're going to be in. And if you do, being a ranger might be able to help you, because they're pretty good at tracking stuff, especially if it's their favored enemy, I believe. And that can really come in handy in certain situations. Now, I also believe they get an ability where they basically just can't become lost in their favored terrain. Terrain, that was the word I was thinking of earlier. In their favored terrain. So, because I remember, I was talking with a couple of DMs at a table once, sharing stories about times that didn't exactly go how we had hoped. And one of my friends told me, well, actually, I had just met him, but at the time, he was a new guy to me. He's a friend, but now. He told me one time he had an entire plot point about they were going to get lost in the woods, and then they would discover this camp of kobolds, and that would lead, after they either attack or snuck around them, they would find this cave. Inside the cave would be a very important plot point. And as the DM is describing how they become lost in the woods, the ranger just spoke up and said, "This is my favorite terrain, we can't become lost here." So that entire plot point was thrown in the trash. It made me laugh a little and feel kind of bad for him, but I'm not sure if that holds true with the revised ranger. I believe it does, though I'm not 100% sure on that. It has been a while. I'm not sure I've seen someone play with the revised ranger, though some information I have comes from the revised ranger. It's kind of weird, because it was in Unearthed Arcana for a while, and I know they changed it a little bit before it got official, or if it is official yet. It's sometimes hard to keep up with what is and is not official. For the longest time, I thought Warforged was, and then all of a sudden it only was when Eberron Rising came out. But overall, I'm not sure I could exactly recommend this class for a beginner. It starts out okay. It's not the best class, and then as you get more and more powerful throughout the ranks, it kind of just stays okay. It doesn't exactly get. Naturally, there are incentives to leveling up. You get ability scores, but I'm not sure these actual leveling up is better or even equivalent to what some other classes might get, with the exception of ability scores and the ones that are exactly the same as other classes, such as extra attack. I'm not exactly sure I could recommend this class, but if you're good with the Ranger, you know how to build it right, you can fight well, you can track well, you can do what you need to do, then by all means go for it. It's not my personal preference, but if that's what you can do, then by all means do it. You're better than me. That's about all I have to say about the Ranger. Let me know if there's anything else I can be doing differently with this channel. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Hope you all have a good day, and until next time, roll well.